look, I got something good for the people right now, Danny. I
Good
got
news?
something positive and uplifting and joyous for
Is
the
it
people
Magic Johnson?
in the holiday season
Magic
is
Johnson?
an album called Merry Christmas Little Mama.
So yeah, Jizzlane, Geelong, however you say it.
So what?
Um,
Now the defense, right?
I don't really know how court works, but I feel like this has gone too far. And
What
she
do you
probably
mean?
like she should have probably just got shot in the face.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she should
I
be
don't
dead.
I don't know how
I mean, by fake suicide.
she didn't. Yeah, she should have committed suicide by
Yeah,
now. I don't know how she like, how are you not guilty if
man,
you're
you got to.
that deep into it?
All right, dude.
How are
Think
you
about
not?
how this has like probably changed that world, because you got to imagine that these sort of like underworlds exist, and these things that are happening that like people with wealth and opulence, and you can just see like the blatant things of like how business works, how like poor people are taken advantage of. But I mean, imagine some of these like just extremes that lives that you and I would never even be able to fathom. Like I'm sitting here thinking of an example right now of these like parties with masks on and like just buying whatever you want, never getting caught, having connections.
You know how I
um
think it would go
hmm,
now? Business as usual.
right, yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Isn't crime always like two steps ahead of you know um
Well, no,
the
I mean,
coppers are chasing them, see?
no. I mean, like, if you really think about it, like, there was allegedly some type of oh, if Epstein gets arrested or whatever, he had like a dead man switch or whatever. People were afraid he was going to get roll over on all these celebrities and whatnot.
Politicians.
He gets fucking murdered in prison,
Yes.
right?
Epstein
If you
didn't kill himself.
if you believe he killed himself, then there's nothing else that I need to talk to anybody. I need to talk to you about whatsoever because you're
Right.
fucking retarded. So they legitimately murdered him in prison. Say, oh yeah, he killed himself. So obvious that that he was murdered. They run the story as he killed himself. That's the end of the investigation. So like if that's not like the biggest like warning signal to
While
everybody involved that we will fucking kill you and get away with it, like
and doesn't the coverage of it too, because I felt like after Epstein died, the coverage of it, there was like a few days of like, oh my god, what happened? Okay, run with the story, what we're gonna say about it. And then it felt like it changed to a joke, like where that Epstein didn't kill himself thing caught on, and they're saying it on
yeah, it
the
turned
late
into
night
a meme.
shows. It turns into a meme very quickly. And then with everything going on in the country at that time, I mean, is just all these things are just swept up in the news cycle, and they become some sort of joke when nobody's ever held accountable. If they came at me, and said like, oh, we see your taxes, something on here was wrong from 2 years ago, gave me a $2,000 fine because of it, I'm never gonna fucking pay that. And then 3 years down the road, they will put me in jail.
Yeah, actual jail.
Right. Fuck I'm supposed to do here?
And you know what's wild
Mm.
is that the Derek Chauvin, the guy that killed George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which I fucked up on last week as well. I apologize.
Did you? I mean,
I
you
called
probably
him
did.
Michael Floyd.
Of course.
No.
Matt fucked up a name as is tradition going forward.
Yeah, we
Let's
got to
just
talk about
so you say the defense rested, right?
prosecution, I believe.
Or prosecution rested.
Yes, sir.
So let's just real quick go to Google We're going to type in news. Top story. Number one story. January 6th Capitol riot probe votes for House to hold Trump aide Mark Meadows in contempt of Congress.
Didn't they just do that to Bannon too?
Right next to it, 74 dead, more than 100 still unaccounted in Kentucky tornado disaster.
That happened. Yeah, that's fucked up. Hey, condolences to everybody in the Midwest, wherever the ship popped off.
OSHA investigating deadly Amazon warehouse collapse.
That should be included inside the fucking, that was in the area.
California is reinstating an indoor mask mandate.
Oh, of course.
Supreme Court says no religious. I coughed. I don't know what you're mad about. Supreme Court says no religious exemption for New York health workers.
So that's another COVID-related thing.
Yeah. Vladimir Putin claims collapse of Soviet
Where
Union.
is Jizzlane? Where is
Jizzlane as a
in
taxi driver?
I'm not hearing you tell me that Jizzlane has made top news. A worldwide wealthy pedophile ring
Not
is
there.
So I guess yeah, the question is, if the prosecution has rested, then does the defense now have 2 weeks to make their case, and then the jury goes into deliberation. But
I'll tell you, this is hilarious. So I went just to the news section of Google, right?
Fake news.
Kentucky tornado, NBC News, CNN fact check. Oh yeah, I bet you this is factual. Several news outlets inaccurately reported key detail of Meadows' story about Trump and protesters. They're still on that shit.
So the guy was subpoenaed, even though they're saying somebody lied about it.
COVID, 800,000 deaths, blah, 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 more than any other country. Also, we got more fat people than any other country. So,
right.
U.S. records, over 50 million COVID cases.
Okay. I mean,
Derek Chauvin. So, yeah, she is nowhere.
Listen, that's why you guys can come to the Dead Mothers Club podcast for your weekly dose of real news.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about pedophiles and lizard people, bitch.
And
if you're wondering what I'm doing over here, I'm 11 pages deep into the news.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
Are you serious? This whole episode?
Yeah, I've just been scrolling.
That's pathetic, dude. Humans, what are we doing?
Hey, here's a win that we can mention that is at the bottom of page 11 of Google News. The Groveland 4, the black man accused of 1949 rape, get the case dismissed.
Tremendous. So some 4 black men who have spent their entire life in prison for a rape of a white woman in 1944, you said, have been exonerated.
I don't know the details, but they're probably all dead. So,
well, it's been expunged. Hey guys, into the family, sorry you lost out on your strong male figure in the household, and that contributed to generational curses of
So, where would this even be? World News?
and it's on like fucking BBC Earth or some shit. It's like on some fucking obscure website, National Geographic from fucking 2 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for Maxwell news on CNN's website.
You went to CNN and typed in Jizzlane.
No, I'm not typing it in. I don't want them to give me the results. I want to see how willing are they to give them. Very, very fucking top thing says details of Trump's chief of staff got during Trump's chief of staff got during riot revealed. Top biggest font on the fucking
what does that have to do with But didn't you just read another headline earlier that somebody who testified against uh whatever the individual in this campaign. This is the thing with politics, is these things happen. They happen on the right, they happen on the left, they happen with all politicians. These dirty hand-to-hand, deals, just like eastcoastcalifornia.com, are going on,
Shout out.
in the background. And we find out about like 2 or 3 years later. How often is this part of the news cycle where it's just like 2 years later, bombshell documents released in federal court today show that something happened 3 years ago that's absolutely not fucking relevant anymore. I wonder if any of it's going to matter, because one thing that I think is a major problem that's upcoming here that the Dead Mothers Club podcast should take a stance on. Have you ever
I'm
seen
down to stand. Let's
Ready
go.
Player One? Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, it's tremendous. You should watch that, because that's about to happen.
Okay.
Watch Ready Player One. It's a Steven Spielberg. So really who I'm upset at in this situation is Steven Spielberg for putting this idea into the collective atmosphere a few years ago when he made this movie.
You don't think it was already an idea before that?
Yeah, you're probably right. But
What
he
did he
gave
do?
it a platform. Is that basically the metaverse, this Facebook thing coming up? And Facebook is under like billions, trillions of dollars of lawsuits right now for genocides in third world countries that they put no restrictions on their platform. So in, I don't know what the years were, what the countries were. I just know these were third world countries where information spread very quickly that caused, I mean, if we're talking about the Uyghurs in China, we got to talking about the Rohingya Muslims in wherever the fuck they were that got, So anyways, the Facebook is under all these lawsuits right now, and they're trying to start the Ready Player One thing, and it's going to be a shit show.
That's fucked up.
The background to Ready Player One is like the Oculus, how you can buy the goggles and the handheld, and you can go into this digital universe where you could be anybody you want. You don't have to live in your shitty life where you're fucking poor on earth. You can go in there and be a rock star.
That's kind of tight, but rich people ruin everything. So I'm not rich people. That sounded like a fucking like liberal arts major right there. But
what do you see playing out with Metaverse?
I don't even honestly know what Metaverse is. I just know that I'm not going to be involved.
Yeah, I was hoping it would make it so that like a lot more people are stuck indoors doing this dumb shit, and we can be out in nature with less interference.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going to be a state park guy.
So like, what's a Metaverse?
Well, I mean, you're going to be able to make your own avatar, it sounds like, and it's just going to be like a digital reality where whenever you log on to it, it's no longer like logging on to a website. It's like you're logging into a digital universe where cities are connected, and there's probably going to be money-making opportunities. Like you're going to be able to own a nightclub in the metaverse, where people come to like do the disco or like whatever. There's already companies like software developers that are selling digital land. I had an advertisement when I was researching this the other day that asked me if I wanted to download this app and lay claim to like acres and acres of digital land around where I live here in Florida, that I could, own all of this digital land. And then once the metaverse begins to expand and the real world is then being mimicked in the digital world, there will be like, land ownership, I suppose.
That's so fucking weird.
Wild shit, dude.
It's kind of like, have you ever seen the dudes that do Grand Theft Auto role playing on Twitch?
No.
So like, how you can play Grand Theft Auto online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like they'll make these special servers that you have to be invited to, and guys, girls, whatever, they go and they role play on it. And like it might be the saddest type of existence that I've ever seen. Like, people like go and they assume a role, like paramedic, and like they literally just ride around in Grand Theft Auto in a fucking ambulance and like respond to actual fucking like.
Is that part of, didn't a new GTA just come out? Or is that
No,
part of like the old one?
Grand Theft Auto 5, the one that they've been fucking bleeding dry for the last like 13 years.
Oh shit. Because I for some reason I think that I saw something about like a new GTA coming out at some point. Like maybe a map, dropped or map released.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that's kind of like what this metaverse thing is going to be, just like
yeah,
virtual reality.
right. And
Yeah,
when
like there's
people's
like dudes that just they want to be a tow truck driver, so they get on the fucking video game and
mhm.
they just tow cars in fucking Grand Theft Auto.
Then you got to think about like when people's lives are going to be like as shitty as, some people's lives are in the real world. A lot of people are going to psychologically like revert to this digital reality and really kind of check out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to play out somehow, who knows.
Do you think there's a metaverse reality where Epstein didn't kill himself? Because I don't.
Some people say that because math is the language of everything, it might be the digital code for the um simulation that we're living in.
I was talking to a dude the other day, and I've come to the conclusion that there's no way we didn't get thrown into a parallel universe when they spun CERN.
But
Yeah.
Chris Proya and Shelly Kelly, I love them. I love you. Put me
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Do it, nerds. That's a huge win. You know what is not a huge win?
Tell me.
Anybody that bet on the favorites this past weekend for the UFC.
I knew that the two main events were underdog wins, but are you telling me was the Kai France kid? I know O'Malley probably was not an underdog and Neil
Yeah, he
wasn't,
probably
right?
wasn't, but I'm not into girl fights, so we're not going to talk about him.
I
I
like
know.
Sean.
I threw
I
shade
like
at
you, Sean O'Malley.
your cotton candy boyfriend.
You're my cotton candy boyfriend.
Yeah, I think Cody Garbrandt was might have
Probably a
been
favorite.
private
I would
favorite.
imagine, yeah, because the way they treated that in the ring interview after, it definitely seemed like yeah, I bet Garbrandt was favorite in that fight, but he got slept in the first.
Shit on, absolutely shit on. It was
Right.
disappointing.
But I mean, hey, the O'Malley, he got shit on in the first. Neil came out. It took like what? Did that go to a decision? But it was a
It did.
unanimous decision, right?
Yes. Yes. And then Amanda Nunes.
Oh
Juliana
my
Juliana Pena.
dude, I shed a tear.
Yeah,
Well,
Cody Garbrandt was a favorite in that fight.
I shed a tear when Rose got the belt recently. I don't know why. Those moments shake me up at after, because it's so raw. UFC is
Yeah.
raw as fuck.
Yeah. Rose winning the belt was like different,
Yeah, that shit was
especially
nuts.
off of that fucking crazy Zhang Wei Li.
She she had gone like 12 wins before that,
Yeah.
just shitting on everyone.
Absolutely shitting on everyone.
All right.
And then Rose just fucking good night. Nighty night.
Bink. That's my new favorite thing, just the word bink.
You could probably go viral on the TikTok or something if you just posted videos of people getting knocked out and just go bink.
I didn't know anything about the Neil Ponzinibbio fight. Did you hear Joe Rogan call him like Ponza something? It was incorrect. He called him like Ponzilio.
I believe it.
Did anything? So that's the main event, or no? I'm sorry, that's up to the co-main,
And
and
then the main
then
event was Dustin
we did.
Poirier.
Hold on,
Charles.
before we get into this though, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about Pena and Nunez. You know,
Yeah.
because it's hard to find clips of it anywhere online. So it's I think it'd be good if when we're talking about UFC, we can describe like how these fights went. So what happened with Pena and Nunez was in the first. I mean, Nunez or Pena just started hit it with the jab, just making it like a boxing match. And she connected a few good times quick, stunned Nunez, and then kind of just took over for like the next 45 seconds. Bink, bink, bink.
Bink, big bink.
Wore her down. And then for some reason, Nunez gave up her back and she tapped before Pena even had the hook in, right? Before she even had her elbow under. Pena, or I'm sorry, Nunez was just gassed, dude. She knew she was about to lose that fight, so she tapped early.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think what she did, what Juliana Pena did, she wasn't afraid at all. And
You could tell in her walk.
She took the fight to Amanda. And it kind of seemed like Amanda didn't really know how to react because, like,
she's always been the aggressor.
Well, that and when she hit somebody, they fucking changed their whole goddamn mind about what they were going to be doing. And she hit Pena, and Pena stayed in the pocket and kept fighting.
I love that term.
And she was
gotta
like, you could see it, just her whole like drive just gone.
Yeah.
When this shit wasn't working.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I don't know why the UFC does that to me. Like I don't ever get any sort of emotional, even if like the Browns or the Bears, you know, win or lose. Oh, fantasy football update. I did a beginning of season, mid-season, you know, when I had beat Adam and Rob. Okay, back-to-back weeks.
Get fucked.
I went on a slide, Danny.
What's that mean?
I lost a lot of games down the stretch.
Ooh.
And based on yesterday's results,
yeah,
I have missed the playoffs.
When did Clay Guido win?
Clay Guido won way when. It was like 2 weeks ago, back before the. We're hopping around so much.
Yeah, you're fucking losing me. But like, we didn't talk about the prelims of this past fight this past weekend. Tai Tuivasa. Did you see that dude win?
Yes.
Do the fucking shoey.
Absolutely. He's also one of my favorites up and comers.
That dude fight.
Absolutely. And then there's the other there was a black guy who roundhouse kicked somebody, right? That's another heavyweight coming up that I really like. And Bennett Emmett, maybe.
Josh Emmett fought this weekend, but he's a small white man.
Oh no, it's a heavyweight, a black guy who roundhouse kicked somebody in the face and then did a front flip onto his booty.
Oh yeah, that dude. 1 second. Was that was on Holloway Rodriguez?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't remember the guy's name in that fight. That had to be like maybe a month ago. But let's finish up the UFC 269 card. Headlining event.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember.
Love him though. Absolutely love him.
He's cool as fuck.
Poirier got submitted by Oliveira, which hey, it's undeniable at this point, right?
That Oliveira is a G.
What's his story? I mean, I'm sure you have some sort of insight on you know, his fight path, because that's something that I'm not really I don't know these guys' middle stories yet, you know.
He's a shoebox guy.
Yeah,
shoebox,
tuta box, right?
Yeah, one of the bigger gyms that ever came out of Brazil. And he was always like, he was good, but like, he always seemed like the dude that was always winning, right? But like I never really like remembered him. You know what I mean? Like he was like real like middle of the road. He had a little tough, you know,
From
patch, I
from what I
guess.
from what I heard from the commentators this week talking about him, they said that he like bounced around weight classes. Did he take a bunch of L's in like another weight class and then, come over here and start doing it right? Or it seemed like something I heard a few times where they were
He's
like,
been in the UFC since 2010, right? Let's see. He lost to Jim Miller, um, Donald
"Go
Cerrone,
USA, go USA." Love to hear those names as the only people
um,
that have
Cub Swanson, Frankie Edgar. Seeing
mm,
like,
USA.
yeah, but like he's losing to G's. Max
Mhm.
Holloway, Anthony Pettis. I remember that
Max
Anthony
Holloway beat a Charles Oliveira back in the day.
2015, yeah.
Oh snap! That's
Um,
cool.
but
I'm
yeah,
gonna
and
have to go
then
back and watch that fight.
his he lost to Paul Felder in 2017, and it's just murking dudes since then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of them. I mean,
One, two,
he has the submission. What's it called? The record for
yeah,
submissions.
he's on 10 in a row right now. Yeah, most submissions
Pow!
in the UFC.
Good for him. It was we would have loved to see USA come out on top over Brazil. Did you see what Dana White said in the press conference after they said what's 2022 looking like to get an event maybe down in Brazil with the COVID stuff going on? Dana White gave the most I don't know, like alpha male. He goes, we're doing Vegas, or he said, he said basically they're Florida, Texas, Abu Dhabi, Florida, Texas. That's what's happening. So he big dicked him like, look, shut up. We're not.
We're gonna go where we want. You're gonna watch. And that's the way it is.
Yesterday at the roast of Jojo Casilla, this kid alpha mailed me, bro. You want to hear this story?
Yeah.
There's this other guy that shows up to the open mics, and he came in with this hot chick one time, and it didn't
Hmm.
seem like they were dating. They weren't like touching each other or any sort of public display of affection. So I messaged him on Facebook. I go, who was that girl you came with the other night? He didn't message back nothing about it. And then I saw him again this yesterday night, and he goes, bro, I fingered that girl today. I want to see coming up. I want to see Masvidal Covington.
Is that coming up?
No, they haven't booked it, but that's a big one for 2022 because those guys were friends back in like their young days, and there's a lot
Next
of footage of it.
next is Derek Lewis and Chris Dawkins.
Mm,
That's gonna be a good one.
yeah, is
Bilal Muhammad versus Stephen Thompson.
okay. You see, today something just came out about Vicente Luque said that he would accept a fight with Kumshot Chimaev, as Covington is calling him. He's calling him Kumshot Chimaev
It's a great name.
Kazmat. So no, I love the name. I love Colby.
Yeah.
I'm such a Colby fan at this point.
Colby's like the only dude that plays that role that I really can stand.
Yeah, he goes full heel, but he plays it so well. Everything has just this like comedic touch. He was calling Usman Kamaru Marty. He was calling Kamaru
Mhm.
Marty, like a fucking white name, and this guy is clearly like Ugandan.
Well, like from what I understand, I could be wrong, probably am, but if you come here for your truth, then you're fucked. But I thought he said something about his wrestling coach wasn't gonna bother learning how to pronounce Kamaru, so he was like, "I'm gonna just call you Marty."
Oh, wow. I have not heard that story. That's tremendous.
Yeah, so I think
Holy cow.
that is why Colby goes with Marty. He calls him
Oh, wow.
Marty Fake Newsman.
That is great. Oh, wow. That's the full name. Money Fake News.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so stupid.
If you don't appreciate the memes, get fucked.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, it's good. Oh, I got very, very good news that you're going to be excited about. Lomachenko won,
Yeah.
and Jake Paul's fighting this coming week.
What?
We had a guy who pulled out of the Jake Paul fight. The
Tommy Fury.
Fury pulled out of the Paul fight. It might be Logan, Jake. I don't know. It's a Paul.
Oh, so what 1976 women's fucking high jump athlete that transitioned to male is he going to be fighting now?
No, the case will get dismissed for help me here. What's the punchline? The case will get dismissed for
I don't know. Lack of evidence.